Denise, Gwen, reading aloud for you from my short story, The Greasy Spoon, Chapter 19. The farmer pushed the barrel deep into Nick's back. "Go on inside," he growled. "Okay." Really, what were his options? Nick and Ed walked inside and blinked to adjust their eyes to the sudden dimness. Nick took his measure of the room, a kind of makeshift office. A rusty metal desk stood in the center, heaped full of papers and invoices and receipts. In the corner stood a metal chair with the tatting in the cushion seat all pulled up and torn. Against the far wall stood a bookcase with ledgers and binders stuffed into it any which way, and right there, perched on an unoccupied corner of the desk, was a princess-style landline telephone in pink. Everything had a patina of dirt on it, and an enormous glob of some strange-looking brown substance had hardened on the desk close by the phone. The six of them stood there. "Well now," Jeb McAllister said, and herked back a wad of phlegm and spat it directly onto Nick's left shoe. Nick did not move. "Seeing as how you boys think you know all there is to managing a profitable hog slaughtering operation, we figured you might want to go through the factory yourselves and show us how we can, how'd he put it, Clem?" Jeb looked to the farmer who'd spat onto Ed's pants leg, and Nick took note. It might be helpful to know the names of the last two farmers. Then again, it might all be for naught. Clem cleared his throat. "We need to fine-tune and streamline the rendering process." "That's right," Jeb said with satisfaction. "We need to fine-tune and streamline the rendering process." Jeb Jr. snorted. "Well," Jeb said, "we're going to let you fellas show us how we can improve our bottom line and streamline the rendering process." "I'd rather not," Nick said pleasantly. Junior chuckled. "Hey there, buddy," Jeb said to the fourth farmer, whose shotgun was lodged into the center of Nick's back. "Tell these here fellers what we have in mind." "What we're going to do," Buddy said, "is we're going to leave you boys alone a second to talk it over, and then we're going to give you two choices." Still holding onto the shotgun, Buddy held up one gnarly finger. The middle digit on the left hand was missing, cut all the way down to the stump. "Choice number one. We shoot you dead right now and take your bodies back to town tonight, under cover of darkness," Junior added. Under cover of darkness," Buddy said, "and we'll drop you two off into the trunk of that fancy car you rode up to the courthouse in today." "Security cameras?" Nick asked. Jeb's eyes narrowed. "There ain't none back there." "Yup," Clem said. "Why, they don't even got the cameras fixed on the back door to the courthouse, coming in or not." "You boys done parked your fancy-ass car real good for us," Jeb said. "You couldn't have parked that car of yours any better if we'd asked you." The farmers chuckled. Unperturbed, Ed asked, "Aren't there security cameras all around the courthouse?" Junior slapped Ed across the jaw. "You dumbass! They's only at the front of the fucking courthouse. Now shut your jaw!" Ed massaged his jaw and glanced at Nick. Nick knew what the look meant. It might explain why nobody came to our aid. The thought arose unbidden into his mind. Then again, perhaps nobody cared. Jeb placed a restraining hand on his son's shoulder. Easy now, son. Choice number 2? Nick asked. Choice number 2, Jeb said. You two go through the slaughterhouse with the other hogs, and the first one that makes it through gets to walk out of here a free man. Ah. What happens to the second man? Ed asked. Jeb snorted. I don't think either one of you fellas is going to make it through alive, or in one piece for that matter. So why we're even making the offer is beyond me, but my son suggested it. Yeah, Junior added, 'cause the point of a slaughterhouse is to kill the hog, or the asshole lawyer. Silence. Nick cleared his throat. I'd like to propose choice number 3. Buddy poked him in the back with the shotgun. There ain't no choice number 3. Choice number 3, Nick said. You let us walk out of here alive. You escort us back into town, deliver us to our car, and we'll leave. Buddy snorted. And when we get back to our office, we'll sit our client down and we'll make him give you guys new contracts under much better terms. Yeah, Ed added, where we take out the land forfeiture provision. Nick looked at each of them in turn, ending with Clem. And while I don't remember your last names right now, Buddy and Clem, I did notice you two sitting in the courtroom this morning. And I'm sure you came down there for more than providing emotional support for Mr. McAllister and his son. Clem and Buddy stared at him, so he kept on talking. I'm sure you've got a contract with Happy Hog Farms as well. Elsewise, why are you here? I'm pretty sure you're looking at forfeiture as well, and I've never liked that provision. And here he nodded at Ed. And I don't think my friend likes it either. Ed nodded. Yep, I don't like it neither. And so, Nick finished, I think the client should change it. Jeb tucked his hands inside his overall bib. Huh! Will you listen to him? Yeah, Junior said. Now all of a sudden you're negotiating? I mean it, Nick said. I don't like that provision. I've never liked it. I think it's unduly burdensome and unfair. What's your last name, sir? Ed asked Clem. Clem glanced at Jeb, looked away. Alba. Clem Alba, Ed said. Glad to meet you, and held out his hand. And your last name? Nick asked Buddy, turning slightly, but not so much to cause Buddy to think he was trying to avoid the barrel of the shotgun that was forming an impression on his backside. What's your last name, sir, and the name of your farm? It ain't none of your fucking business, son, Buddy said. He lifted up the butt of the shotgun and cracked Nick across the head with it, and Nick went down.